Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
pack here.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry.
Are we good? Okay. So who's actually thinking about taking the show to Fringe here this year?
Oh, not this year.
Oh, any year. Okay, that's fine. Wonderful. Okay, cool. And who has done it? Has he taken the show to Fringe before? You? Miles, you've done it.
I've been in shows, but I did not take a full show. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, what does it mean to take a show?
What does it mean to take? Right. I'm not quite sure what the expectation is. Slash haven't prepared anything, obviously. God is also powerful. So, okay. What does everyone want me to just say how Fringe works?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Wonderful, okay.
Yes.
So, Fringe lasts for a month. It's in August and it's in Edinburgh. You can do it via God, I feel like I'm giving a lecture. Oh,
Just we're here for you.
You've got it with
yeah,
just
I'm
for
just
you.
gonna race.
So no, please, yeah. I want to hear it.
I like that. It's wonderful. Okay, so that's for a month. But you can do less. Like you don't have to do the full month. You can do a few weeks. You can do half a Fringe. You can do like pretty much whatever you want. But you do need to find a venue, and also you do need to register, which costs money. Is anyone here interested in doing free Fringe? Wonderful, yeah, almost everyone. Okay, cool.
What's the difference?
So,
It's free. It's in the name.
so some.
Well, no, I guess it's free, but are there other like implications of like if it
Yeah. Okay. So if you do Fringe, you have to pay for registration, and registration's like what, 400 quid, I think. Do the month. Yeah. It's penny. But that's if you want to be in the brochure and various things. If you don't want to be in the brochure. Slash you do like a late registration, I think it's like £230 or something like that. Yeah, so
It's already too expensive.
yeah, it is. What did you say, sorry, Miles?
It's like £100 to be on the Fringe app.
Is it?
I think it's
Something like that.
more.
It
I
might
think
be
it's
cheaper.
closer to the three.
Is
I think it's more than that now because they have got an online only registration,
Yeah.
which is the late one. Which
So
is
last
still
year I did
Yeah,
2
yeah.
weeks, and I still had to pay 230 quid
Yeah.
just to do those 2 weeks. Yes, Tifa.
Maureen had a question that I want to champion.
Well, it might be a bit early because they might answer it.
Okay, this is how.
The question was, do you think it's actually worth it financially to be on the app and to pay that extra fee and be on time to have the exposure of being on the app or whatever that
Yes.
is worth
Yeah.
it?
Can I answer that? I only went as an audience member last year, and I only saw shows that were on the app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're walking around, so like a Fringe customer or like audience person is just walking around and going, "What's on?" on their phone, and the
It's
app.
like distance, like it'd be like in the
Yeah,
like
in-
50 meters.
Yeah. Or in the next like half hour, what's on around me, and so yeah, it's definitely worth. So I wasn't in the brochure. I was just on the app because I did late registration, and yeah, my room was pretty full most like yeah, there were days that were really shit, and I had like there was a couple of days where I had like 2 people in or like 4 people in, but for most days it was like pretty full, and that was just on the app, not on the brochure. So yeah,
maybe
definitely.
not brochure.
Maybe.
It's a debate these days.
Yeah.
Also, the
Yeah.
people who run the brochure are called the Fringe Society, and they're a bit like the mafia. They don't provide anything very practically useful to the artists.
Yeah.
They just exist kind of as an organisation to pay themselves.
Yeah, and they just say, we have a workshop, and nothing happens.
So people are very critical of this organisation. They have a fancy building, and in theory you can go there and they can help you. But it is mainly in the case of just kind of like a few workshops here and there. They can give you a press list, which is good. You have to approach them and you have to say, this is my show.
A press list.
Right.
So they can release a list to you of all the critics that you need to meet, which is good as an independent artist, because normally if you have a PR, So a lot of people hire a PR for Edinburgh, and the PR is the go-between between the artist and the press.
You
but
don't want to do that unless you have a big show,
Yeah.
because it's spending.
If you don't do
Lots of them
that,
are terrible.
you have to kind of seduce the press yourself. So there's a big event.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got that.
We all know how to
There's a big event called Meet the Media, which they run I think twice during the entire month, where you go, you queue up in a giant line, and then you can meet the journalists, and you have about 30 seconds to speak to each journalist. So you have to make your pitch really snappy and really memorable. Other people write directly to journalists, they email them, they make press packs and they send them out. It's good to do that pretty far in advance of August, because you know,
like May,
diaries fill up. Yeah. You want to get the Scotsman in. They're the big kind of local newspaper that it is kind of attainable to be seen by the Scotsman. They're like the national newspaper of Scotland. So like you could be seen by them, you might not be seen by a UK newsprint like the Guardian, like the Observer.
But journalists generally already know who they want to see before they go to Fringe, because of like the comedy circuit and just like, you know, whatever.
You've also got media day, so when you're there, I think it's on a Saturday, and you go into a building and you wait in queues, and then you try and pitch your show to the people. But you can try it, but it's not great because they've already kind of worked out who they want to see.
You gotta make your pitch really snappy.
Yeah.
You get a lot of non-professional reviewers, so the step down from the national newspapers is like part-time reviewers who might be students, there might be people who are interested in the arts. These people are good. Sorry? Broadway Baby. So these people are good to target because they're attainable, you'll get them in, they might work in the arts and they might just have an interest in the arts. They will come. Like these smaller publications will come and you can get reviews from that and you can get word of mouth from that.
Didn't Kit write reviews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four
guys,
I think also the Fringe, I've forgotten which one it is, but one of the big Fringe reviewing bits.
Questions
You
about
could ask Kit.
How far in advance, so if you're working as your own producer, how far in advance would you send out any sort of press stuff that you usually do? Like if I was doing a show myself, I would be sending out my press packet like a month before the date of the show to invite people to come along and giving them a deadline for RSVPs. For Fringe, like how far in advance would you
May is the time that I've heard people say, like, get it out.
Or April.
Or even, well, yeah.
I suppose is there a point where it's too early?
Like now is probably a bit too early.
Beyond God.
Like once registration's closed and you know you're definitely doing a show.
Yeah. And it's just like also good to follow up, I guess, before the Fringe. I mean, people, I guess like most people here, we're all just sort of sorry, just taking my shoes off. Doing like work in progress, I'm just getting comfortable. Doing like work in progress type shows and shit, right? So reviewers may be like jumping the gun a little bit, in terms of like I don't know if I don't, and this is just very much me being like this is my opinion, but I probably wouldn't invite reviewers for my first like 3 shows at least, because like.
Do you mean 3 as in the same run, or 3 as in
3 as in 3
years?
Edinburgh Fringes?
3 separate years.
Yes, at least I'd say.
On the flip side to that, I invited lots from my second year and got some good stuff out of that.
What did you get from it?
Like 4-star reviews.
Wonderful. I meant more like, did you get contacts out of it?
Oh, so weird. Right.
I
was like, they said I was amazing.
Sorry. I thought that's what you were asking.
No,
what did you
I
get?
completely understand. That would be so me.
I was with The Space, who were kind of looked down on a little bit. They're not part of the big, would you say the Big Four? The Big Four? So The Space are a little more independent and less quality control. So that's okay. That's okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, I think if you have a good show in a venue that is a bit less quality control, you can actually do well because you can bring people to that venue. And in the case of this, so I was with the Space and they threw a little party where you could meet the media, and that was good because it's more intimate. It's just the people from the Space, just the artists who are performing will go to this party. So it's still crazy in terms of okay, I've got 30 seconds to pitch, but less crazy than the other day where it's you against everyone. And it's kind of like it's a party atmosphere, and then everyone's got drinks, and you have to be really memorable, that type of thing. But so I did that and met a couple of people who I'd already emailed, and then met them in person. And then there was a press office for the Space, which was really useful. And I kind of wormed my way in there and hung out in that press office all the time. And that's where the head of Broadway Baby came. A guy called Richard Brody, I think. So he would come all the time, so I got to know him, which is great. And they're not meant to do this. If you know the critic, they're not meant to come and review you, but he will. So that's good. So he came. And then there's someone else. And then he's got his friend in the press office. And it was just, it's so dumb, but just hang out in press offices. Because that's where they go to write their reviews. And you can go, hey, I'm an artist, this is my show, You go, okay, sounds interesting. Yeah. I drink like 3.
You said, your thing and you've got to know what to say in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I presume you're talking about your elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So are you able to give 2 or 3 bullet points of snap, what do you need in your elevator pitch?
What was your elevator pitch?
How do you find that elevator?
Where do you pitch them?
What is it called? The press what? The
press office.
No, the first event.
Meet the media.
Oh, meet the media.
Oh,
Meet the press? Meet media.
Andy, you know lots about, you know some things about PR and things.
Yeah.
How did you and Roger about it? Putting you on the spot there.
Walking through the streets with a Segway in your hands.
How have you done it? God, I don't know, what did we do? Well, the first show we did was Legs, and it was just a very simple brand, it was Legs, so we could just... We just walked around with Legs, and it was all word of mouth. That was basically where we had all our success, and the reviews eventually start coming, I guess, because people start whispering.
Yeah.
But that's what's cool. That definitely works. That's powerful. People like the show, and they're going to tell others, and it works.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people whispering.
If you're on the website, if you register for the Fringe Society, then people can review your show on your listing on the website, which can be good. So you can get real people reviews. You can turn that on because you might get obviously bombarded with 1-star reviews.
Yeah, it can also do that.
Is the thing, so it's up to the artist.
Although it's really difficult for people to get in to write the review, so if they put you in 1-star review, they really hated that show.
I have a question about venues, and you mentioned the Big 4. Can you just talk further on what that means and what thought bubbles are around venues?
Yeah, okay, so there's a few ways, so there's the Big 4, but then there's other venues as well, right? So you've got 4 big venues, Gilded Balloon, The Pleasance, Monkey Barrel, and Assembly, there we go.
Monkey Barrel is not accepting.
Underbelly.
Is it not? Underbelly.
Underbelly, that's the one.
Monkey Barrel doesn't accept anything from people they don't know.
Yeah, neither does The Pleasance. Neither do, unless, I'd say Assembly.
What did the Pleasance do?
Pleasant, Underbelly, Gilded Balloon.
Okay, hard to get programmed.
Yeah, it's you've got to know people. I'd say Underbelly and
So
Assembly.
these are so you get 4 big companies that run the Fringe, basically. It's which criminal gang do you want to go to?
Yeah.
Do you want this guy? 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 They all offer different things. It's really good to go there and actually see it. You go. So Gilded Balloon has a beautiful university. They're all in university buildings, but Gilded Balloon has one that's like a Harry Potter kind of castle thing. which is beautiful. It has rooms of different sizes. Of like, they've got a little 50-seater, right the way up to like a 300-seater. Assembly is kind of really big, and similar thing. You can have very small rooms that are very kind of hard to find, or you can have big studio kind of purpose-built theatres within these. So it's kind of, those are all the professional ones. The professionals kind of go to those venues, no?
People,
But you
people
don't.
have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or they're very successful, will definitely make it.
You have to put down a deposit and things, and what sorry, you've had your hand up for a while.
I was going to say it might be helpful to explain, like, okay, what type of show would you be bringing to these really big venues, and what types of shows should you be looking at? It would be more beneficial to you to do more of a free fringe type of thing, and how that would work for people.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like your first 5 Edinburghs do free fringe.
I think it's kind of also like what you want out of it. It's
Yeah.
much easier to get bigger press into the big four, but it's again expensive. You know, do you think you'll be able to pull audiences that'll pay off? What it
It's
costs
a big
to put it up?
it's a big, like Melissa went via Assembly, didn't she?
Yeah, she did Roxy.
Yeah, and she's doing
Yeah,
that
I think
again.
that's like 40. I think they take 40% of your tickets, but otherwise it's that. Yeah,
Which
then
is
it's not
quite
like a
good.
massive.
She
There's
had a
no-
positive
it's not that
experience
massive
with them, but I
quality.
don't know how much money she made out of it because it's like a lot that you put in, right?
She said she definitely broke even last year.
Really?
Maybe even a small
Which
profit.
is a massive achievement.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. What was your experience like? Because you were at Bedlam last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
That- That was good.
Bedlam.
It was like a student theatre. It's in a giant church. It was good.
What was the
And,
capacity of that?
surprisingly good.
What is the capacity? Yeah.
It's big. What, like, how many does it seat?
Like we're like 90, but
Yeah.
the space is huge.
Yeah.
And it's like you're in a church, so like it has a kind of its own crazy atmosphere.
I love that.
It's like it's a theatre all year round as well, so you've got all the like.
But only
like,
seats 90, which is so achievable, right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Who's?
I think they're opening up soon. Like they haven't
Have you
opened
got a
up
contact?
No, the crew, all the
crew.
students. So every year it regenerates, which is like new people.
Oh really? So you go
contacted
directly
them.
to?
I think that they actually
Yeah, I think
hired
they
their
just keep
manager for this
rehiring.
year.
Yeah. Maybe
Like
they stay
I've been in
for
contact with them already
They're
for
rehiring.
the show I'm producing,
Yeah.
and they got back and were like, yeah, we haven't got the manager in for this year yet, but we'll
Okay.
like let you know when that happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, would you recommend Bedlam Theatre?
I would. Yeah, we're gonna apply again.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
How long was your run?
We did 2 weeks. Yeah. But we kind of wish we'd done longer because by the end of the first week you start like picking up momentum.
So you recommend 2 weeks or more on this side?
It depends what you can afford. It really depends what you can afford. It depends what, because you've also got accommodation to think about. Accommodation is very expensive. So if you were going to Fringe this year, probably start looking now.
I already looked. The Airbnbs are like $6,000.
Yeah.
They know for a month.
But
They know.
there's a service that I absolutely love that nobody knows about called Theatre Digs Booker, which has great
Theatre what?
prices. Theatre Digs Booker.
That is
Dig, like dig.
Yeah.
There's also a Facebook group which is really good, which I can add people to. That's where I found my accommodation on.
Also, all of us fit into one a 4-bedroom apartment.
Yeah,
right?
you need the size room and the installation.
Well, that's what they did last year.
It was like
Booked a house about now.
2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom,
Yeah.
3 bedrooms.
When you're saying a 2-week run, how often are you performing the
Every
show?
day.
Every day.
But
You can request a break.
Yeah.
there are some venues who are looking for people to do shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because they've booked other people that are only doing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're a first-time kind of fringe goer and you're like, I want to check this out, I want to see what the vibe is, I don't want to commit a bunch of money, but I do want to take a show there and see what the experience is like, you can reach out to people and say, oh, I want to do just a couple dates.
Yeah, like a weekend or like a week or, yeah, that's a good point. What were we talking about?
Big venues versus small venues.
Yeah.
Talking about how free fringe works.
Okay, so Free Fringe is basically 2 organisations. There's PBH and Laughing Horse.
What?
BBH, PBH, and Laughing Horse.
They used to be the same, and then they split because of political differences, and
Yeah.
then PBH has remained very political. So if you're in a PBH venue, you can't be in a show in another free Fringe venue, which is a bit shit.
Well, you can, but you have to hide it.
You have to hide it.
Don't have the thirst.
Whereas Laughing Horse are more sort of,
They don't give a
it
shit.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
PBH don't usually provide people on the door, so you have to do your door stuff yourself, whereas Laughing Horse tend to have people there, but then you also have to pay an admin fee for Laughing Horse, which is about £150 for the whole run.
I think it's more. I think it's like another 300.
No, it's not. It was, I think it was 150 and then an extra for their pay what you want last year.
Right.
It's not
Definitely the
mandatory.
free registration was the biggest
Alex,
one.
it's not mandatory though, for the door person or something like that. Like when I
No, it's just a general admin fee. But then they also provide like the PA stuff, and PBH has a tendency to say if you have any PA stuff, you should like donate it to the PBH cause over the course of the Fringe and things. So you have it's more scrappy, but it's
PBH, I
easier.
think, is a bit more popular and mainstream, but they're a
It's
bit
also
more
more
asshole.
Yeah.
And Laughing Horse,
I would agree.
they're not as good rooms, I think, in general.
They don't get as much audience.
Yeah, as many audience.
I don't know. I think PBH and on the about the door stuff, it also depends what venue you're in. Because I went with PBH last year and I had them help me at the door. Yeah, they were very good. People came in, like, yeah, it was grand. It's. I think with PBH, it's just you don't have to pay the fee, and then therefore you don't get some of the. Yeah, the services may be a bit less consistent across the venues. But yeah, you can look. I wouldn't advise you to apply to, but like it will ask if you think, oh yeah, this might be useful. If you apply to PBH, they do when like they say arseholery, like he does ask you on the application, have you applied anywhere else? Where have you applied? Do you agree to not apply anywhere else? If you apply here, yeah. Well, I have.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you just agree and then do whatever you want.
They will be assholes and they will not program you if they find out.
If they find it, they will blacklist you.
I don't know how they would find out, but
It's fine. I did it last year. I think it's fine. Just don't go with another. Like if you get in with PBH, don't go with the other one.
Oh, so you would just be applying and not telling them that you had done it?
Applying to both.
Yeah.
Or
There's
to
also-
also other venues.
You can apply to
you can apply to both.
paid film, Fringe, venue, and PBH,
Yeah.
but you can't do any of the other free Fringes.
What are the other ones?
Legends, free.
They've stopped.
The other Legends as well. I don't know who the other ones are these days. Step is big too.
I would recommend applying to both though, because you might not get an answer from PBH and you might not get an answer for Laughing Horse, so it's good to just fucking apply to everything. Because last year I didn't get my offer until like May, June, because someone pulled out because he didn't know me. So like I also applied to Laughing Horse as well, who just didn't get back to me. But yeah, and so you just apply to everything in terms of free Fringe and see who gets back to you first. Yes, Juval.
I would say apply the earlier the better.
Yeah.
And even if you don't
Like now.
if you don't have a show but you know you're gonna go,
Yeah, just apply.
just apply and make up what the
Yeah,
show
make sure up.
is.
Yeah.
And then you have 6 months to make the show.
Yeah.
But like
You
don't
can go
wait,
without a show as well.
because like what I found is like a lot of places get booked up
As
very
in just go,
quickly
like,
and
every
then
month.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, right.
Can I say also, so a friend of mine who just got a spot at the Underbelly, which is crazy, she said to pull out any press you've ever gotten and sell yourself as the shit. You can use ChatGPT to like write down the answers if you need help like narrating that shit. And then also she was like, yeah, just like sell yourself as like the shit and don't like hold back on that in your applications. And if you do have like graphics and or video, it of course will like that's it.
that's the proof.
Yeah, and
you know.
make you look legit, like as legit as possible.
Yeah.
It's just like a job interview, right? So
It's very college application.
yeah,
On
totally.
PVH, so I've gone with them twice, and I had very bad rooms both
Did you?
years. They did, in my case, they didn't let me pick what venue you perform. Was it the same for you?
Oh, you put your preference down,
Yeah.
and then they will or not give it to you. The
But-
last year I got so yeah, that's a good shout actually. To if you get an offer through, look up your venue where it is in Edinburgh. You want it to be in the city centre, like you want it to basically be in a tiny little circle radius. Which is right at the centre of Edinburgh. Anything else is very, very hard to do. So last year I got an offer through, and because I refused it, they the first offer that they sent me it was for a month, and it was I can't remember. It wasn't too far up, but it was far out enough. I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. Refuse it. Say why you're refusing it, and then you might get a better offer, or it might be that like say you wanted to go for a month, and they apply. They don't have a good venue for a month. They might be like, oh, we do have this place for 2 weeks, which is at a much better location and also a better time, or just a better location, and then just go with that. You're better off. You're so much better off because flying is fucking hard.
Are you able to give some guidance on what that golden circle is? Where
Yes.
that golden circle is?
Yes, right. So there is basically a road down the middle of Edinburgh called, is it Calgate or is it Blair Street?
It's really everything around the corner.
Yeah.
Even if you get to the grass market, if you get to the other end of the grass market, it's already too far away, which is still very
I really want Tom. There's
Around
basically
the underbelly.
there's like
Calgate.
yeah. There's basically like a couple of roads. There's like one big road and then like a couple of roads here and there which are good, and then the rest is just a bit like it's gonna be a bigger struggle.
I'd say the best thing about going for a paid venue, like the absolute best thing, is being able to choose where you perform. Like that is such a great bonus. Like your one is like to have that venue and know you're going to be performing there is incredible, because then you can kind of tailor the show around that. So I did comedy. I used to do stand-up, which would work on the Free Fringe. People come to the Free Fringe expecting stand-up, but then I wanted to do a play, and I knew that a play would not work on the Free Fringe because of the way that the rooms are set up. So I needed a black box theatre where it was like 50 seats and absolutely silent. Like I can't have anybody coming in and out. Like my second PVH venue didn't have a door. And it was in a noisy car.
Some of them are really shit.
And it was like,
Last
there was
one
no
was
one
a
on the
building.
door. So like I knew I was going to put on a play and I needed people to sit down and shut up. So I went with the space and I was like, I hadn't been, it was a converted hotel conference room. Kind of interesting. That was in the Hilton Hotel, Hilton on Northbridge. And that was actually perfect for me. So that type of thing. Anyone here like interested in doing a play? Great. So there's a really good, there's like a hipster venue, right? That is like the one if you're doing a play. It's called Summer Hall. Summer Hall. Summer Hall. And that's, it looks too
quite
far.
hard to get into though, isn't it?
It is, but it's good to shoot for because it's like, it's a great networking place first of all because everyone comes. Like in the theatre world, it's the trendy place, it's the hot spot. You'll get critics coming. There's a courtyard. Like I said, like the hanging out in a press office type thing. That will happen
really
if you're
nice.
at Summer Hall. People will congregate and you'll meet people and you'll network and you might get people in the door just because you're at this venue.
But that's in the Free Fringe or?
No, that's a separate thing. That's a separate. It's like not one of the big four. It's like an indie. It's like a really cool. It's like an indie record label, right? Everyone wants to be on. It's that type of
Is
thing.
it not associated with the space?
No,
No,
that's
Summer
called
Hall is
Summer
kind of
Hall.
its separate thing. It's
the
like a
Meadows.
production. Like you would make an agreement with them in the same way you make an agreement with one of the big four.
Yeah.
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 Something to go off what Connor's saying is like the time of your show during the day is important to what type of show you're putting on. Like if you're gonna do a play or if you're gonna do a kids show, you're probably if you're doing a kids show, you're probably not gonna want to do it at 10 p.m. at night.
What? No, they wouldn't. Depends on the type of kids you want, yeah.
What time?
That's not for everyone, but
In general, also I think people stay out really late. So while 12 might feel like the middle of the day, that's like I think early morning Fringe time.
Yes. Well, definitely if you're in the clown sphere.
Definitely. I don't know,
The clowns
like reviewers
always
might be
are,
waking up
post
about
12 p.m. So post midnight.
Yeah, I saw like 1 a.m. shows.
Yeah.
So, like, you know,
So it's good to like even nights like
It depends what type of show
10
you're doing.
o'clock, 11 is still good time.
Oh yeah, like you can do, especially with clown, like 12 o'clock at night is a good time to do a clown show.
We did a show at 1 a.m. and we had
But
some
then 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like the late night shows are good.
Yeah.
They work really well. Afternoon also shows that are like 1 p.m, like that might sound really shit. But actually people are like up and down Fringe all day. So they're, especially if you're doing a free Fringe show, because over the past like few years, because tickets for the paid venues have gone up so much, people are a lot more interested now, I think, in looking at in going to free shows. And so what they'll do is they'll have like 1 or 2 shows that they may be going to see in the evening, or maybe one during the day, and then the rest of the day they'll be way more flexible, right? So like, you know, if you have a show at like 2 p.m, that's by no means like a bad time. Like, yeah. And if you do, say you've got a morning slot to do a comedy show, it's hard, but you can still make it work. You just have to like market it properly. So my friend did a show a few years ago, and she had like a 10 a.m. slot. I can't remember. I think it was at Cabaret Hotel. I think so. It was in one of the. It was at a free Fringe venue, in the middle of down one of the main streets. And it was a compilation comedy show, and they just marketed it as freshly squeezed comedy, and they sold out every day at like a 10 a.m. comedy show. So it just shows that you can really, like, you just have to sort of, once you get your venue, once you know that it is like feasible for you, and like, yeah, you can work it out. You can work it out.
Too far.
So many questions.
You were saying that you kind of just bullshitted your show, or you like you
Whoa,
could
whoa,
bullshit.
whoa, whoa.
You could. You could bullshit
Fine.
But is that like pretty typical?
I don't know how typical it is for people to do that when they're applying. I would just recommend that, like, you have a general idea of what your show is going to be, and you can also, a lot of these places, once you apply, you can change almost the whole application.
Yeah.
Like they say, like, oh, what's your show name? You're not locked into that. You're not locked into the bio that you have to write that goes onto the website or the catalog until basically like a month before Fringe. So just put something down now. Sell yourself as like an experienced performer who's responsible, not gonna like fuck their venue up, and then get the ball rolling that way, and you can figure out what your show is in the meantime.
I still don't know what my show is, and I've got I have an idea, but I haven't done it yet, and I have a venue, and like.
Yeah.
No, but it's just like you just fucking bullshit your show, like you just any crap, like just sell yourself is the thing. Yeah.
Does anyone have experience with the more independent venues? Because obviously on the Fringe website there's like a big venue pack where you can read like hundreds of venues, and not all of them are from the production teams. Is any views on that?
With our kids
Like
show,
that.
we ran one in church halls from someone that did them for Kaylee's, and it was quite good. They had like a rule: you're not allowed to have comedy because they were churches or swear. was like fine when he wasn't there, but then when he was there, he would like walk through the middle of your set in the middle of the show and start trying to sell people coffee and things. So it very much depends on the person, but it might work. Yeah, they can be very cheap as well sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But it's
And did you just reach out to that venue?
yeah, it was on that list,
Yeah.
and they were very cheap.
Yeah.
And it was,
Was it?
Oh god, I think it was like a 50 show or something.
And that was the only deal.
Something like that.
Was this paid Fringe or free Fringe?
Paid. Yeah, it wasn't an organised
How did
treatment.
you-
It was just an independent venue that did their own thing.
How did your box office work with them?
We had to do it ourselves. Well, you got you can sell tickets on the Fringe website, which is where a bunch of them came, and then you just have to get your own card reader and do everything.
Your own
yourself.
card reader?
You
can
will
order them
need your
off
well,
Amazon.
unless you've got a bit of paid venue, you will need your own card.
Yeah, so
It's
there's
super
so much
cheap.
tip at the end because nobody has cash anymore.
They're very.
On a free it's just a
It's
donation.
a donation, but nobody has cash usually, so no one. Which is a problem as well because a lot of venues don't have good Wi-Fi, so then you can't use the Wi-Fi.
So you need someone
Well, some of them are a lot of them
What I
are so you
noticed
don't.
last year as someone just going to the Fringe to watch shows was that a lot of the shows were in the free Fringe, but on the website they came up as something I had to buy tickets for. So I would have booked a ticket and they go, oh, if you already made your voluntary contribution. So I don't know if that's just like an issue with the website that there was.
Pay
or
what you want. So
no, some of them would have, they'd say like pay what you want, and then there'd be other ones that say they were free, and then there's some that say the ticket was £15, and then I'd get to the show and they would have their book and they'd be like, you might have came for free. So there's, I don't know what that is, but maybe if you're bringing a show, you can work that system.
But they even
Yes,
have to, like
Veronica.
Monkey Barrel,
Thank
that
you.
is a proper
That's what
venue.
they do.
They instead at some paid like the big venues, they will still ask you even if you bought a ticket for a donation. Like it's COVID, everyone's poor, so like everyone's got an answer.
Wait, so you're buying a ticket and then they go at the end of the show, and if you love the show,
Yeah.
you're welcome to also give me money.
You can
Which
do,
they
you can,
do a few years ago, but yeah.
Okay.
you can add your speech to the show, or do it at the beginning, or do it in the end, and see what gives you more money. I have a question. Does anyone here have experience with diversity applications, organizations that help people LGBTQ? Any like alternative help?
As in like venues that are like
Organizations who are like, I'll help diverse people get to Fringe, or LGBTQ, people
Well,
get
money.
to. Isn't that
Uh,
money, housing,
Underbelly ran a
marketing.
thing this year called Untapped, which was I can't remember
It was for London
who
Town.
they were targeting, but I think they've already put that out.
Yeah, they did.
And there probably are some, I don't know off the top of my head, but and obviously all of them are like, we really welcome applications from underrepresented, but obviously not all of them actually mean it.
The Blessings application at the end had like if you're diverse, click here, and then I was like, click. But no, like for money, housing, and or resources, marketing especially, like
There was
printing,
also
flyers.
the Luke Rollison Memorial
That was
Fund,
just
but
for
it's
Brian.
just awarded.
Yeah.
But that's something to look at next year. It's the Luke Rollison Memorial Fund. Who's not dead.
He's not dead. He sounds dead.
Yeah, he sounds dead, but he's not. But he's like big on it's awarded to people from like less traditional routes into performing and stuff like that. So that's an option for another.
That's traditional route.
Yeah, I think there's more details on the website. I haven't actually read about it.
It's
My
also
friends
only
just
for
got
Brighton
it last
Fringe.
year.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
is
thought,
it?
yeah.
My bad, sorry.
There's also groups like there's one group called Best in Class, which is like they're like a group of I think comedians, organisers, producers, I'm not sure, but who try and bring like working class people up to Fringe and who will like produce their shows and stuff like that. Yeah, so if you go onto like the Edinburgh Fringe website and just like Facebook, have a look, all of the shit is there. But
How does it work for cabaret?
cabaret.
Yeah.
Has anyone here done cabaret?
Like
A show, as in a show for Fringe.
Yeah, I did. First time.
There we go.
Yeah, you can do that.
What, you also have like to put money?
You still need to apply the same way. Yeah, you just take an hour.
And
You share. We
also
share it
if
with
it's
like
not
8
you
people.
organizing. Even if it's not your organizing.
Are you saying you want to join a variety show?
Oh, okay, that's different.
They
Yeah, there's a
usually
bunch
have,
of
like,
those.
open
Yeah.
like, but like if you're invited to perform in a cabaret and if you don't have like
Oh, you don't need to.
play, a performance, you apply in the
You don't need to like. You can just if you're invited, you just rock up. You don't need to like
So you can
register.
invite me if you want to.
Yeah. You don't need a license. Legit.
And are there any cabarets and like I don't get cabarets variety shows that like are quite public about opening their spots?
Oh yeah.
So the people who
Oh yeah, Lost Cab. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Lost Cab, yeah.
It's a stand-up show
They're pretty
for
open.
the Alternative Comedy Memorial Society.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Say that again.
What?
It's not a stand.
Alright, a crazy alternative comedy experience. ACMS is on Monkey Barrel, which is a very prestigious venue, at midnight, pretty much every night at the Fringe. And they're good at getting people on with little experience because you just have 5-10 minutes to mess around on stage basically.
Yeah.
But it's in a really good venue, which is it's called ACMS. It's on at Monkey Barrel every night at midnight, and it's
like
a
3 hours as well.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy, and it's a really good opportunity to get some stage time in a pro comedy club. Like get up in front of a full audience and try stuff out and be silly.
Like an
With that, do you have
Yeah,
to?
but it's not an open mic, but they're open to like getting anyone on. Like you talk
Right.
to the producer.
This is what I was kind of
Yeah.
getting at. Do
You have to find out.
You have to kind of preempt that before go. You don't just show up and be like, oh, I want to get on.
You
can
can
just
one as
show
an
up.
audience member, and then kind of it would help to go. No.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like they say that a lot of people drop out, especially in the third hour, like
Yeah.
at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So if you have your stuff there and you talk to Tom or what's his name, Jaz Norris,
Yeah, Isabel's the producer.
yeah, Isabel, and you're like, hey, if anybody drops out, I would love to. I'm here. Then they'll put you on.
And you could just be
more
an
likely,
audience
yeah.
member at that point.
Well, I think you
Tell them what you do.
You're just there.
But also,
Show
like,
us
say
before.
you showed up on Monday and then you saw the whole show. You could, when she's holding the bucket, Isabel, the producer, when they're waving the bucket at the end, you just go, "Could you get me on tomorrow?
Right.
Could you get me on next Monday? I could offer stuff.
Can you
I'd
get
be very
me
good."
on
Obviously, yeah, obviously in a very nice way. And especially, look, if you've seen the whole show and maybe you've tipped £5-10 at the end, it shows that you're a good, nice person, right?
Yeah.
She might go, yeah, let's have you on tomorrow for a 5 spot.
Do it like a handful of coins.
Yeah. I have a dumb question if anyone.
Oh, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Is there a way to get on that like ahead of time? If you like
Yeah.
talk to them?
Yeah,
then-
Twitter.
Okay.
Just DM them on Twitter.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And this is the Lost Cab?
No, ACMS, the Alternative Comedy Memorial Society. Really, really good night.
And there are tons and tons
Really
of
good show.
nights like that, and it's just about finding the producers and messaging them, or watching one, and then going and talking to the person afterwards and being like, when can I get a slot?
Yeah, Facebook is a really good. I know fucking no one's on Facebook anymore, but Facebook is like some free Fringe is all on Facebook, and lots of people sort of on their groups like will say like, oh, I've had a drop out here, can you come in here? Or like, oh, I'm putting together this show for tomorrow, like, and yeah, so it's sort of word of mouth.
Instagram
So
works also.
pardon?
Instagram is useful to promote your show on Instagram or.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, no, this is more just to like, just being in these Facebook groups where people are like, oh, this is, that is performers reaching out to other performers, or like producers reaching out to performers, being like, I've got a spot here that needs filling, or this show has been cancelled, I need someone to step it, like, so yeah, and the Free Fringe, or like, not just Free Fringe, but the Edinburgh, I can't remember what the Facebook's called, I think it's like Edinburgh Performers something. It's a big group, and every year, what's it called? Maybe. Yeah, there's a big Facebook Facebook group. I think it's got like it's got like 10,000 members in it or something, and it's just people like putting, oh yeah, I need someone to perform here, and yeah, it's just a good resource.
Have we spoken about the year yet? Because I know
Yeah,
that's changed. Well, it's changed, but it's continuing, but it's been taken over. But that
by Monkey Bar, isn't it?
is it? Or these people would like who?
The same guy.
Well, it's good for like doing name some kind of company. Yeah, no, there's Monkey Barrel people, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's good for like doing a
That's really
two
good for crowd,
shows
yeah,
or like
yeah.
I just want to do a little mini run.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be the same. Yeah, but it's no longer the London Bath.
No, and in the past
But
it's been
they can
good,
still
they do, like
the
the
new
shows at like 12:30
Yeah.
really, where like people can just like rock up and be involved with random shit,
Really
like
loose show.
balloon parties and things.
Yeah, ish. But yeah, they're really good for like if you just want to try shit out. I think it's like a maybe 60-seater maybe, and it feels really nice to do, and it's just like you just rock up and do anything, just pop for an hour. And the blunderbuss. Or the blunder garden. And they're really like welcoming and open to new acts too. Let's say you can do those in what way?
I don't know, like, for example, like what they ask you to
I see, if you was a performer from venues, being like,
qu'est-ce que t'acceptes par rapport au prix, ils vont demander de mettre les entrées, ce qu'ils vont prendre.
okay. So I was last year, sorry, pour que j'ai bien compris, c'est dans ta conversation avec la venue, ce que toi t'accepterais de leur part.
Oui, oui.
Ok.
Oui, s'il y a des trucs genre, tu sais que si tu sais qu'il y a des trucs, ça c'est pas.
Ouais, c'est pas bon. I basically would refuse to pay money ahead of time for anything, but that's just because I want to do free Fringe and it's really expensive, so I am very much like, and that's not because people are dodgy, it's just because I'm like, no, I won't accept a venue asking me to put extra money in anything, because I've already paid the £400 registration.
But that the fact that some venues take money from the entries, like what is the amount of money that is taken?
Oh, like the split.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, right.
Like, you know,
Yeah. It's typically what it is.
Yes. So it's usually like 60% in favour, the performer gets 60%, and then the venue keeps 40. Some places are really good, like I think Monkey Barrel does like 80-20.
Yeah.
And like the Blunder Gardens was giving, she did 80-20, yeah. So yeah, like you really don't want to be more than 60-40, but yeah, 80-20 is good.
You can also negotiate once they make you an offer. That's not unheard of or impossible because they want you at that point and you're the programming and they can't do anything without you. So you do have a leg to stand on with saying, how about these numbers, these percentages instead?
120, -20.
Always haggle a little.